If you are looking for the easiest, and I mean the easiest plant to grow in a kitchen garden, it's this one. It is the most forgiving plant I've ever grown. It doesn't care if it's sunny, if it's shady. It doesn't care if you overwater it, if you underwater it. It doesn't care if you leave it alone and don't do a thing to it, or if you cut from it, divide it, use it all the time. Whatever you do to this plant, you can't kill it. This is an unkillable plant in the kitchen garden. Plus, it is a beneficial plant in the kitchen garden. So this plant is what I call an interrupter. It puts off a smell that interrupts pests as they're eating from the plants in your kitchen garden, which they will want to if you're growing an organic kitchen garden, which you should be, because organic is just the way we want to eat, right? So you've got all these lettuces and vegetables around, but when you have this plant right in the middle, it puts off a smell, it puts off a scent that turns off the pest. So they might eat up until this point and then they'll be interrupted. They stop, and so then they leave. It interrupts pests, but it also welcomes good bugs to the garden. It puts off these flowers in the spring that welcome in bees and butterflies, feed them, and keep them in your garden to help your fruiting plants produce more vegetation. So, oh my goodness, could there be a better plant? It basically is unkillable. It deters pests and it welcomes beneficial insects to your garden. Plus, it is an exponential grower. What I mean by this is this plant will come back year after year. Not only will it come back, it will multiply itself so that every year it pops back up into the garden. You can pull it up and break it apart and turn it into 3, 4, 5 multiples of itself. Put it in new parts of the garden, and you've just turned one plant into 5 more of this unkillable, amazing, beneficial plant to the garden. So, should I say it again? If you're looking for a plant to put in the garden that is the easiest one to start with, that is a no-fail kind of plant, this is your new BFF. So these are chives. This one in particular is onion chives. You can tell the difference. Onion chives have a tubular stem with a hollow in the middle. And garlic chives are going to have a flat stem with no hollowness. I don't think there's any hollowness unless it's very, very tiny and minuscule and you can't see the hollowness. But these you can see, and I'll show you. When you break it apart, it's got a hole in the middle, just like a little straw, okay? So that's what makes it an onion chive rather than a garlic chive. These put off the most beautiful purple flowers in the early spring, and you can see they're already starting to put off a couple little flower buds here. And those little flowers are delicious. You can make chive vinegar with them. You can put them in salads. They're delicious, they're beautiful, and like I said, they're good for the bees and the butterflies. But here's the real magic, my friends. This plant is an exponential grower, and so I'm going to show you how to divide your chives each and every spring when they come back. So we have about a month left before we pass our last frost date. And chives are one of the first things to come back. I told you you're going to love chives, okay? So chives are one of the first things to come back in the spring. You can see these things have obviously been growing for at least a month now. So to divide your chives in the early spring, you want to do just this. Pull it up completely, roots and all, from the garden space, all right? And you could probably have done this. I wouldn't do it once the greens start to flop. I would have probably done this ideally 2-3 weeks ago. So when the greens are about 6 inches tall, that's plenty of time to divide your chives. So shaking off the dirt here just so I can see what the roots look like. You can use a tool like a hori-hori. I generally just like to use my hands. You could divide these up into 1 each. I mean, this could become 100 chive plants, maybe 50, I don't know. Maybe 100 is an exaggeration, but it's close. I like to keep mine clumped so that I grow them in groups and I can harvest them pretty easily through the rest of the year. So I just take my hands, kind of try to feel where the break is between the plants and give myself a little, that they say, what do they say? Palm strength? Grip strength. Grip strength is a sign of longevity. So this is going to help you practice your grip strength, okay? You're going to live a longer life because of this moment in the garden. So I'm practicing my grip strength and slowly dividing these chives. See that? All right, so this is now a brand new baby plant. She can go right into the garden and grow to her heart's content. And believe it or not, she's going to be happier because she got away from all her sisters and brothers. that were like crowding her out and not giving her enough room to sleep, okay? So you think you're hurting the plant, but believe me, the plant will thank you. She will grow to bigger and better things and will go on to live a great, huge life all by herself because you gave her some space, okay? So we're gonna break this into 3 groups, and I just lightly use that grip strength, divide it up, and look at that. So I've just taken one amazing plant in the garden and turned it in to 3 amazing plants in the garden. Now right away you want to plant these. You don't want to waste a moment. You want to take these, go put these into a new space in the garden so they can grow to full potential. Don't let them sit out in the rain, the water, the cold. You want to water these in soon after you plant them. This garden, let's see, we could add a chive plant right here. So I'm just going to take my hori, dig myself a nice deep hole. You want to make sure these roots can go as far down into the soil as they are long, and slide those right into that deep hole. Make sure that the neck of the plant is not buried. The neck, what I mean is like basically here, okay, but on the plant. So the neck is where the roots stop and the plant starts. So you want the neck right at the surface of the soil. And boom, there she is. She's ready to grow into her full mature size. You can trim off these right away, give them a little ponytail chop. They'll grow back again. They grow back. Did I say that? You cut from them and they grow back. Is there an easier, better thing that we could grow in the garden? I don't think so. And I was just reading the other day, because I was thinking about how prolific chives are. I was cutting a ton from my garden and I eat them on an omelet every morning. So I looked up like vitamins, nutrients for chives. So chives, garlic, scallions, basically all the allium family, they've done lots of tests on anti-cancer properties that are found in plants. And they find really strong anti-cancer properties in these plants that are in the allium family. So most of the studies they've done have been on garlic and on onions, but chives are in the exact same family. So the more you can get the allium plant family into your everyday diet, especially if it's fresh, right? It hasn't sat on a shelf or traveled across the country to get to your plate. If you just cut it and eat it, you get all of the beneficial factors of this plant into your body, boom, right away. So if you're looking for an easy plant that is going to help your garden be healthier, that's going to feed the bees and the butterflies, that's going to even flower for you, that you can cut from, and it'll grow back again and again, and you can turn it into more plants each and every year, then my friend, this is your new best friend. It's chives. Onion chives specifically. You can do garlic chives too, but don't miss the magic of chives in your garden this season. All right, if you want to get all the supplies, the resources that you need to grow not just chives, but everything in the kitchen garden, you got to go check out Gardenary.com. We always have an upcoming workshop that you can sign up to join us live for. And we have the Gardenary calendar. Sorry, I still have chives in my mouth. Gardenary.com/calendar. You can get the calendar for free. All you got to do is put in 2 dates. We tell you all the rest of the dates you need to know to plant your kitchen garden this year. So timing is everything in the garden, chives included. Thanks for watching. Thanks for growing with me in the garden and making it an ordinary part of your life. And chive on.